It's been so weird because usually I will, in like a year's time, just any given year, I will like sit down maybe like 5 times a year and like seriously try to write music. And this year has just been none of that. I just have had no desire to do music, to write music, to play music, to think about music. The only thing music that I'm doing is mixing for other bands, and that's kind of its own category. But like for me personally, my own music, I have just been like, okay, my album's coming out, I'm just gonna like write it out for a year and like not do anything. And I feel weird about it because I could be writing more songs and like, you know, trying to focus on like, you know, I want to do another one eventually. So it's been weird. It's been really confusing. Like, why am I like that? Why do I like not want to do music right now? Or like, I just want to like read Star Wars books and play Fortnite. That's like all I want to do. And it's really weird.
This is something that I was talking a little bit with Brennan about, Brennan from Sea Life, and his take on it was kind of like you sort of need like that chaos and action of day-to-day life, you know, for inspiration in that way, you know? So it's like, it's a weird thing now because it's like we have all this free time technically as artists, but it's like the world's not really, you know, as is. Like we're sort of forced into self-isolation. It's not just like because some people like will go write music and they kind of like self-impose isolation in that way. But when you're forced with that from the outside world, it's like a whole different thing. And it's like
that's it. Yeah. So my whole thing about like creativity and then like trying to pay rent, like that, those, you know, because you have two sides. You've got like, I gotta have a day job and then I gotta be creative. And then how do you mix those two things together? And my whole thing is like, you have to have, sometimes it's nice to have a job where you are like, I love every freaking second of my job. And then, but mostly, and from my experience, the times where I've been the most creative is when I hate my fucking life. And I am like, I hate this shit.
But you still have a life.
But I still have a life. Yeah, I clock out and I still have a life. But it's like, I fucking hate everything. And I'm going to do whatever I can to get out of here. And I think that is the thing that some people like, I mean, and everybody's different, but for me, it's like, it's sometimes having that like friction of your day job life can create some really cool stuff in like creatively and musically. Because if you like are like loving life and you're like playing guitar all day at your, you know, your store and like you're like loving life and you're like talking to people and you're making all these connections and then you go home and it's like, well, I just did that all day. I'm just going to like go and on the internet. But when you like go to your factory job and you're building cars all day and you go home and you're like, I need an outlet. I need something to like, I need to like put this song that I've had in my mind, or I need to like put this creativity somewhere. And so I think for some people, me included, that's where it can be sometimes. That's where the creativity can like really live, is in that like, I hate my life. I hate my 9 to 5. I hate everything. That's a big motivator to like make a big change.
And there is a stability factor to that too. Yeah, it's like when you're,
that too.
I mean, for real, it's
forgot
like,
about that part.
Because it's like, it's one thing to like have that bandwidth at the end of the day, but it's like, okay, it's like I hate my job, but at least I know my rent's going to get paid, so I don't have to like, I could just sit here for 4 hours writing music and not feel like, should I be like trying to sort that situation out? Or when you don't have a job and you're like, now all of a sudden your bandwidth gets consumed by like, oh shit, how am I going to like survive tomorrow? Like, you know, you lose creative bandwidth
that is so perfect because like because okay, I was like doing delivery for a long time. Like I was unemployed.
I remember.
I was like, hey Nate, like how, you know, and I was like driving around Seattle and I was like, this is going to be awesome. I can wake up whenever I want and I just can just like deliver food and I can make as much money as I want. I can just like pay rent and then I can come home and I can just work on music. But it was like, it really was
Those were the days, man.
It really, it was really like, I got to wake up and I got to deliver for 11 hours. Otherwise I'm not going to be able to pay rent this month. And so that like really put like, I was in the worst place personally, mentally, that time in my life was the worst point of my life. And so I realized stability in terms of like, let's say you take a cushy job somewhere, that can sometimes be better than like grinding and like selling stuff on Etsy and just like grinding and like doing your shit. Cause like, I don't know, when you sell stuff that you love doing, when you do that all the time, it becomes a job, and it just sometimes can ruin it for some people.
Yeah. Especially when you're not like making a ton of money at it either. I mean,
right.
like a lot of Etsy sellers are already kind of on the margins or nothing like that. Like, you know.
Like there was a point in my life when I was like, I was selling Pokemon cards and mixing music for a living in Chicago. And I like,
that was my first hustle when I was like 13, dude.
Yeah. I was like 22. And I was selling Pokemon cards, and I was like on eBay, and I was like, I was like recording bands, and I was like, this is it. I'm like working at this big studio. I'm like, you know, I'm like big shot. Like I'm assistant engineer. Like I'm thinking I'm the coolest person ever. And then I don't know, it just kind of sucked. Yeah, and it just like, it wasn't what I thought it was. But now it's like, I don't know. I don't want to go super into it, but I mean, I have a job, and I like, it's not related to music in any way, and I kind of wish it was, but I don't have to worry about like, how am I going to pay for my vinyl, or how am I going to pay for like a photo shoot, or how am I going to pay for it? Just I'm mixing or mastering, or like, so it takes that for me personally, some of that stuff, it just takes a load off my brain, and I'm like, I can be creative when I get home.
When you get out of a job like that too, it's like, you know, that has like, I've noticed that too, like when I've had jobs I've had like nothing to do with the industry, it's like you get off from that and it's like, I have all my bandwidth available for like whatever project is I'm working on.
Yep. Yeah, you just plug in.
Yeah, like I've had other like professional gigs, you know, as a drummer and stuff like that too. And then it's like, well, I just got done playing drums for 3 hours with this thing. All right, you ready to play drums for another 4 hours? Like, you know, in your original band, whatever, something like that. And I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And then And then that makes it confusing too, because like if you are doing like, let's say you are a musician and you're doing like cover bands, and then you have like a real band, it makes it confusing of where you're placing your creativity, because like if I'm doing something that I really love doing, but I'm doing like 40% of it to make money, like where's the zone where you are your true best and you're putting out your best shit, basically, you know, like, or like I'm a photographer and I do weddings because that makes me money, but my true passion is doing like studio portraits, but I have to do wedding photography 80% of the time, and it's so it makes it confusing of like where you're doing what you love, quote unquote love, but like where is your focus, what aspect of the thing you love is the thing that is like makes you want to do it. And I think when you start to do that a lot, your passion for a living and to make money all the time, it can get kind of confusing and blurry.